Hello Kitty Queens and Kitty Beauty Tees. I'm back with another client tutorial, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how I do makeup on people with textured skin. So I'm starting off this tutorial by cleaning my model's face like I always do, and before we get into it, I'm just going to touch up her eyebrows real quick with this eyebrow archer. Once I'm finished cleaning up her brows, I'm going to take that cotton pad and just use it to wipe away any excess hair. Now I'm just going to begin filling in her brows. So first I'm brushing them out, and I did apply a little bit of eyelash glue to her eyebrows just to get them molded in place. She has like a lot of flyaway hairs in her brows, so I just wanted to make sure all of them were set in stone. So right here I'm just outlining her brows using my LA Colors dark brown eyebrow pencil, and y'all already know I like to bring the brows a little closer together than what they naturally are, but don't get scared, y'all. I'm not gonna make it look like a unibrow. I'm gonna clean it on up with some concealer once I get to that process, but for now I'm just gonna fill them in, starting at the back and working my way to the front. Now that I have one eyebrow complete, I'm just going to repeat this process on the other side. To clean up her brows, I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Concealer along with my Nicka K Concealer. And I forgot to show y'all this on the screen, but I actually went in with shade number 7 and shade number 8 for underneath her brows. Right here I'm going in with shade number 7 just for underneath her arch. Then I use 8 for the remainder of the way. Now I'm taking that LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Chestnut, and I'm just using it to clean up on top of her eyebrows. Now that I have her brow nice and clean, I'm going to take this buffing brush and use it to buff out the concealer. And once it's all buffed out, I'm just going to repeat the same process on the other side. Once I'm finished buffing around the brows, I'm going to use whatever excess concealer is left in this buffing brush, and I'm going to use it to go in between her brows just to fade it out a little bit more and separate them a little bit more. And this is what they look like once I've completed. Now I'm going to set them in place using my Dermablend translucent face powder. And I like to focus this at the front of the brows mainly just to lighten it up. Brows are finished. This is what we're working with. Time to get into the eyeshadow. So for an eyeshadow base, I'm going to be using my Bperfect eyeshadow primer, and I just applied this all over her lids. Now I'm taking that same buffing brush that I used to buff out her eyebrows, and I'm just going to use it to buff out this base. If you're interested in any of the brushes that I use, I already have links included in a previous client tutorial that I did. I will have it linked in the description box for anybody that's wondering. Now I'm just going to be going in with my first eyeshadow shade, and I decided to go with a dark brown. This is from my Jaclyn Hill times Morphe palette. As you can see, I'm just packing this on the outer edge of her eye. I'm not going to blend out the edges yet. I'm just building up my color. Next, I'm going to be taking the brown shade from the Juvias Play Zulu palette, and I'm just using it as my transition. As you can see, I'm packing it on the first shade that we use using this blending brush. Now I'm going back in with that buffing brush, and I'm applying a little bit more of the dark brown. Since this is a no-cut crease look, I did not go in and clean up her lids. So now I'm just taking this beige matte eyeshadow and I'm packing it on the remaining areas of her eye. I like to focus this eyeshadow in the center when I first apply it. Then when I feel like it's barely any eyeshadow left on the brush, I move up towards the eyebrows just so my edges could be nice and blended out. Now I'm just going to be lining her eyes, and to line her eyes I'm using my black Wet n Wild liquid liner. I decided to do a wing because I really did not want this to be a natural look, y'all, so I was just like, let me add a little something. Y'all, please excuse my wig. It was just honestly one of those days. I know the tracks is showing. I know I'm looking rough, but girl, I be tired, okay? But as you can see, focus on the makeup, period. I'm just thickening up her wing a little bit more. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I decided to go in with the accent line, so I went in with this orange liquid liner from Profusion, and y'all, this just topped up the whole look. I love this liquid liner so much. I haven't found any liquid liners that don't crack for me, so yes, this one does crack, but barely. As long as you're using like a small amount, you should be good, and you really don't need a lot anyway, because as you can see, it's very pigmented. Now this next step is optional. You can really leave the look like this if you would like, but y'all know me, everything has to be glitzy. So I'm just taking this glitter from Isme, New York. You can find it at your local beauty supply store, and I'm going to be applying this to her eye. First I'm going in with the adhesive, as you can see, and I'm just pressing it over the eyeshadow. And now I'm going to take this buffing brush and I'm going to use it to pack the glitter on her eye. I like to use a dense brush for this process, just so the glitter can be nice and spread out and still have that soft look to it. I don't want it to look too concentrated. So we got the glitter on and it's popping. As y'all can see, this look was so pretty. But now I'm gonna go ahead and wipe her face down again, just to get any of the fallen glitter or any excess eyeshadow removed from her skin before we get into the foundation routine. I moisturized her face off camera. Now I'm going in with my calamine lotion, and I'm using this to prime her skin. Y'all, my client had very oily skin, so I'm going in with more than I normally take. And I'm also using this calamine lotion to disguise some of the blemishes before we go in with the foundation. Let that calamine lotion sit. Now I'm just taking these Fit Me foundations and I'm going to be applying these to her face. First I'm going in with the shade 368, and I really used this one on majority of her face, so I'm just going to work this into her skin. First I'm applying it to her face using this flat brush, and I'm going to blend it out using this buff foundation brush. When you have a client with any type of texture on their skin or any type of blemishes and you want a full coverage, you should always go in with the brush instead of a sponge. A sponge will get you a natural blend, but a brush will get you that full coverage blend. So I'm just pressing this into her skin. You can see I went in with that foundation all over her face. Now I'm taking the shade 338 and I'm basically applying it to the areas that need a little bit more attention. Now I'm just going to be highlighting her skin, and to highlight I'm using my Nicka K concealer, and this one is in the shade number 7. I'm gonna let this concealer sit for a little bit, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start her contour. So to contour her face, I'm using my Juvias Place foundation sticks. I mixed the shade Congo and Cat Cena together to get the perfect little shade. To blend out her contour, I'm going to be using the same brush that I used to blend out her foundation, just so everything is as seamless as possible. Now that the contour is blended, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out her highlight. And to do so, I'm using this brush from Real Techniques. The longer you allow your concealer to sit, the more full coverage it'll be. So that's why I like to go ahead and just do my contour first and then come back to the concealer. After I've pressed everything out with the brush, I'm going to go over it with my Real Techniques sponge just to make sure everything is well blended. To set the highlighted areas of her face, I'm going to be using my Fenty loose powder, and this one is in the shade Honey. As I told y'all earlier, my client does have oily skin, so after I've pressed this powder into her skin, I'm going to be applying a little bit more on top of it just to bake. To set the contoured areas of her face, I'm going to be using my Black Radiance Contour Palette, and this one is in the level Dark to Deep, so it's the darkest one that they have, but I like to apply a little bit at a time to her skin just because this product is very pigmented and you do not want to make a dark smudge on your face. You just do not want that. To clean up under her contour, I'm just going to go underneath it with my Fenty loose powder, and this one is in the shade Hazelnut. I'm also going to be taking this powder on the side of her nose just to make sure I have it well sculpted. Now I'm going to go ahead and do her under eyes. I decided to just line her waterline using some black gel liner. Y'all know I love my black gel liner, but as y'all can see, she has these beautiful thick eyelash extensions, so I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want it to be too dramatic, but I wanted it to be cute. So I just went ahead and lined her eyes. And this is what the eyes are looking like. Yes, she looks so pretty, y'all. She was pretty before she came in, but this look is just bomb. So now I'm dusting away this baking powder that I have sitting on her face, and I'm really just pressing it into her skin using that same brush that I use to press in her foundation. Y'all, this is the easiest way to prevent flashback. This is the only way that I know that you can prevent flashback. Just press that powder into her skin using that foundation brush, and then whatever excess foundation you have left in the brush, it'll just coat it a little bit and take away that powdery effect. After all the powder has been dusted away, I'm going to go ahead and spray her face using my setting spray. Now I'm just going to be highlighting her face, and I like to highlight using an eyeshadow. Okay, so y'all, this is the trick. If your client has texture on their cheeks, do not apply the highlighter onto the texture, because that's gonna make it come out even more, and you don't want that. So as you can see, I'm avoiding any area with texture, and I'm just applying it to the smooth areas of her face, which is really right underneath her wing. Last but not least, I'm just gonna do her lip, and y'all should already know I'm doing a new lip. This is nothing new. So I'm gonna go ahead and line her lips, and to line her lips I'm using my LA Colors dark brown eyebrow pencil, and then I'm gonna be going in the center of her lips with this new lip gloss, and I'm just patting this under her lips using this buffing brush. Once I'm finished with her lips, we'll be getting into the grand reveal, so I'm just gonna let y'all watch.
Oh my god. I love it.
So pretty. It matches your dress.
I know. Man, do you know how long I've been wanting like that color pop? Oh, I've been wanting that like ever since I seen someone walk on that video.
Okay, y'all, so this is the finished look, and this is the video that I took of my beautiful client. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye.